Hi, it's Gilly from Earth Realms Readings, and I thought it was about time I did a deck and book review. I've been meaning to put more content on my channel for quite a long time, and to be honest with you, I haven't had the time, or I haven't, to be honest with you, been able to be bothered. But I thought this year I would try to start sharing more content, not only about my witchcraft practice, but also, my business side, which incorporates my tarot readings, my distant healing and spell work, etc. Now, I've set this up on a tripod, so excuse the system. I'm not the best at technology, so but it's basically going to just be grassroots with me. So I'm going to come on and review some books. There's 5 books and a deck. Now, I'm going to go with the deck first because this came today, and it's a deck that when I saw this deck on another channel, there's another channel I follow and whom I'm a Patreon member of. And when I saw this deck on that particular channel, I didn't like the deck. I thought, I don't particularly like that. That is until we had a flip through the book, and the book that goes with this deck is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to show you the deck. Many of you will probably be familiar with it, and I've got to admit I love the muted watercolour style images with this deck. It's an oracle deck called the Kanataji Oracle. So this is the book that comes with the deck, and then these are the cards. The circular, I'm not bothered about that. I have circular tarot cards. Now, I'm not going to read with these. These are a gift to myself because I've started journaling. It helps with my mental health. I do have mental health issues. I have done since 2019 when my husband died, and I'm going to talk about that in a video called Let's Talk About Grief, but I'm not quite ready to film or upload that video yet. So I'm going to quickly describe the cards. The card stock is fine. It's not too flimsy. I did have a tarot deck. I think it was called the Anatomical Tarot, and the card stock was appalling. It was like wafer thin. But this is good card stock. It's quite sturdy. And you've got these lovely images. I'm doing them in reverse order, and the colour being picked up by the camera is slightly more muted than what you see with the naked eye. But I love the quotes and I love the colours. There's just these lovely muted watercolours, and some of these cards are just so lovely. Let's just move them up there a bit so you can see them better. Got a bit of dust on there, that needs changing. And it's an ecological spiritual guide and deck. And I don't know, I didn't like the deck when I saw it on this other channel, and then I was shown the book that went with the deck, and it was the book that swung it for me, and I'll explain in a minute. I love that card. It's a beautiful card, and I'm just going through them just so you can see. Now, some of you might think, oh God, this deck's horrible. Yet others of you might think it's a beautiful deck. It is. It's grown on me. Anything with snakes and trees on, I really like. The Carving Glacier. The Garden of Lost Teeth. A Peach So Ripe. Some of the quotes are really quite profound with this deck. A Fork in the River. That's a lovely card. A Thorn in the Paw. This card makes me laugh. Your ears become a butterfly. This Roots Grow From Your Feet. That'd be a very good grounding card. Really, that's a fantastic card. Look at the flames of their arms and hands. That's really cool. So I'll just speed it up a bit. That one I love. I love that card. So I don't want this video to be too long, you see, because I've got 5 books to get through yet. So, but it is, I've bought this deck because I've started, as I said, I've started journaling for my mental health. And I do my journaling 1 day a week on a Monday. Monday is my yoga practice, which I do on a Monday morning, and then I go to a cafe and spend some time journaling. And that is exactly what these cards will be for. And they're really, they're nice, muted. That's beautiful, that card as well. Excuse me. So those are the cards, and then the back is like, it's kind of like a web. Now it's the book that got me, the book that swung it for me to get this deck. Now, you've got your meanings of your cards. I'm just going to go off camera a bit and explain. And I'm going to use an example with all the kind of chapters, i.e. the pages relating to each card are the same. So I'm just going to show you an example, and this is what swung the book for me. The book that relates to the Canada G, for example, I'm using this, The Voice of the Moon. You've got keynotes to the card, a little overview, but then it goes on to the symbology, the guidance, as an icon. So you could work with it as an icon, but it's this that swung it for me. As a portal, what if you belong right here, right now? What if feelings of connection indicate the best direction for you to move to? And it's that swung it for me, because they're journaling prompts. And then the creative prompt as well, which gets you to auto write on the prompt, I feel a deep connection to. Please use a pen and paper for this practice. That is what swung it for me with this deck, and that's the honest to goddess truth. It wasn't the cards, it was these prompts, because of something resonated with me. And every Monday a card will be, every Monday this deck will be shuffled. One card will be picked, turned over, and then I'm not even going to look at what the card means. I'm not interested in the meaning. I'm going to work with the portal and the creative prompt, and then look at an ecological connection as well. So that is why I've bought the Canada G Tarot Oracle deck, for that reason alone. Excuse me, I'm recovering from this chest infection, so excuse me if I do cough every now and again. I do apologise for that. Now on to the books. I'm going to try and be quick. Now, this first book I bought, as I said, I live part-time in Glastonbury, and I'm hoping that as summer gets along, I'll be able to spend 2 weeks in Glastonbury and 2 weeks up here with my mother. I bought this in Glastonbury, and I loved it because it gives you some sacred oils, and it tells you about the oil, about the key points and what the oils are good for. So I'm going to give you, I'm going to have a look up for one. And I mean, it talks about the essential oils and the do's and don'ts and all that, but it goes into, what I like about is you have a mandala for each oil. So for this, for instance, Angelica comes with a mandala, and the idea of it is you either sit the essential oil on here to charge it, or if you've made a oil or spell oil with Angelica in, you'd do the same. So I'm going to have a look for Angelica, which is going to be used. Now it says here it's a master teacher, and it gives you, and this is the same for all oils in this book. It gives you its legendary power, its botanical information, its esoteric qualities, when to use Angelica, karmic roots, and a guided meditation to go with Angelica. And it gives you contraindications as well, which is very important, and you get a case study. All the chapters are the same per oil, so they're in the same oil. These are your contents. And I bought this because I wanted to work with an oil for grief. It's took me quite a long time to get over the death of my husband. And that's all I'm going to say about it here. And I saw in this book an oil to work with for grief, and that's why I bought it. It has helped. So there are specific oils that you can use to work with grief and different emotions. It's a great book to have on your essential oil library. You can even use it in spells, and the mandalas are great, not only for meditating with, but to charge your oils with. So for anyone who works with essential oils, this is a great book to have. It's not overcomplicated. It's not hard. You could even have this as a beginner, or someone that just uses essential oils for their own purpose. This is a good book, brilliant book, and it's very feminine. And I'm not saying that men can't use this book. It's a very feminine book. Brilliant buy. If you're into essential oils, it's worth having on your bookshelf. Okay, so the next book I love this book. This is A Cosmic Serpent. And it's about the cosmic serpent, DNA and origins of knowledge. And I would say it is an ecological book, but also shamanic, because it's about taking plants like ayahuasca, for example. And when you take ayahuasca, as the author did in here, that plant actually speaks to him. The plant communicates with him, shows him its DNA, and it showed the author that plants are sentient beings. It's a really, really interesting read, and I'll just read a little bit at the back. While living among the Peruvian Indians, anthropologist Jeremy Narby became intrigued by their claim that their phenomenal knowledge of plants and biochemistry was communicated to them directly while under the influence of hallucinogens. So he went out to seek and find out if this was true. And in his research, he found out that this was true. And the reason it's called the cosmic serpent is because the serpent links in with the DNA. If you're interested in animism or plant mythology or even psychoactive plants, this is really an interesting read, and it's a book I will read again. There are some illustrations in it because the serpent is linked to psychoactive plants where this book is concerned. So if you're into animism, psychoactive plants, or even ecology and anthropology, this is worth a read. It really is worth a read. And this is a book I will return to again. So that is that one. The next one is also on plants. Now I bought this because I wanted a decent herbal, but it's 2 books in one, so I'll show you. On this side, we have Wort Cunning, a folk magic herbal. Turn the book upside down. On this side, it's a folk medicinal herbal. So you've got your herbal on one side, and that's all it is a herbal with different plants in and the names of them, etc. And on the other side, which is your medicinal, This is, it gives you the condition and the plants or herbs to use. It's a really good basic reference book to have in your collection. And I got this because I do practice folk witchcraft, but I'm also into herbs, and this is just one of many books I have on herbs on my bookshelf. But I'm recommending this because it's kind of like 2 in 1. You've got the herbal and you've got the medicinal side. So it's a good book to have on your shelf for that alone. The next book I'm going to recommend is this one. Oh, sorry, I'm telling a lie. There's only 4 books I'm reviewing because, no, there is 5. Where am I going with this? Sorry, I'm losing it. This next book you've seen before. I showed this book when I was in Glastonbury in December. This is a brilliant book if you're interested in folklore, in particular the Black Shuck or the Black Dog. This is a book you can't put down. It's quite spooky, but it brings together tales from all over England about sightings of the Black Dog, not only historically but more contemporary as well. And I bought this at a second-hand shop in Glastonbury. I got back home, back to my caravan, which is my little home in Glastonbury, and I sat there and I read it for hours and I couldn't put it down. And the reason I wanted a Black Dog book is because I'd had a Black Dog encounter about 10 years previously, which the video discusses in my Let's Talk About Ghosts series. It is there if you look under that playlist. That is a really interesting book, and it is well researched, it's easy to read, and it brings together a lot of stories about the Black Dog, not just from the past but contemporary ones as well. That is worth having on your bookshelf if you're interested in folklore. Brilliant, brilliant book. Next book is, and the last book, again, I got this in Glastonbury and I got it at a steal. I got this because when I'm in Glastonbury, I work in the Goddess Temple as a Temple Melissa, and when I'm there, I hold space for people who come into the temple. And I decided I need to kind of buy a book about the goddess. I do honour the goddess as a horned form, and I honour the horned god. But this covers quite a few goddesses. It was second-hand, and it is a woman's book of celebration spells and sacred objects for every month of the year. It's a really good reference book. So I'm going to have a look at today's date, which is March 21st. Yes, of course, because yesterday was the equinox. So I'm going to see what we've got for March 21st, for example. Okay, so here it gives you March. I'll show you through March, seeing we're currently in that month. So it gives you an idea. So it gives you the aspects for March here, and it gives you spells. This is for a dedication for a new baby, but you don't have to do that for a new baby. You could do it for a poppet doll or a spirit vessel and just change your words to suit. And I mean, that's quite a big undertaking. You've got money spells in here, Native American puberty right for girls, and it brings folk spells from all over. A celebration of a menage. Then it gives you the holidays through March and what the days mean. So if we come to now, like we've got the Spring Festival, which these really kind of are the, sort of the vernal equinox. So today would normally be seen as a spring equinox, but I know it was yesterday. So it gives you each day where there's some kind of event or holiday, it discusses them. And it's the same, then it gives you March's, what have we got here? March story, Confessions of a Feminist Witch. And so you've got kind of like an article here as well to dive into. And then you've got the same with April. And then you've got the festivals like Ishtar's the 22nd. And then we have Beltane, the April story, Spring Belongs to My Mother. So the personal stories. So it is, again, a really good book to have on your bookshelf. It's a reference. I use it for reference. So if you're goddess orientated, it's a really good book to have. So I hope you've enjoyed these snippets of books that I've kind of suggested or recommended. They're all easy to read, and the majority of them, I would say, apart from the Black Dog and the Cosmic Serpent, apart from those books, the others could really be used as reference. They're all easy to read, they're all enjoyable, and great on your bookshelf if you're goddess orientated into folklore, folk witchcraft, animism and plants and anthropology. And I've enjoyed doing this video. Sorry it's been a bit garbled, but I'm going to try and do a monthly review of books or decks, that sort of thing. So thanks for watching, and blessed be.